There's no good reason why ad blocker is failing you, but it is. It's
It's not,
unfortunate.
it's not like they're on the video, they're just on the site.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have it zoomed in, so it's only pretty much the thing.
Oh, fair enough.
So, gentlemen, what we're here to discuss, obviously, because we're always, punctual and right on time. Fable, new one coming out. So I figured talk about Fable a bit. We've all played Fable kind of a lot.
I have played a sad amount of Fable.
Saber's here, or Shen is here, Orion is here. My dog is sleeping and being loud. Thank you, dog.
Dogs do that, then.
They do be doing that.
But, yeah, so...
Speaking of the dog.
Yeah, so, Fable, the first one, I still remember when I was reading about it in the stupid, like, not Nintendo Power, the GameStop magazine.
Game Informer?
Yeah, that one. And they were talking about all the cool stuff you could do, and then, like, people that I knew were talking about all the rumored shit that was going to be in it that wasn't, at least not until Fable 3 for a lot of it. Some of it came into Fable 2, although it was also kind of half-assed. So, Fable has always been a game series I've associated with, like...
Overhyped?
Missing the mark, basically. They throw out a good game, and it sounds really fun. And with the first one, at least you play it, and you're like, well, that was okay. The Lost Chapters made it a slightly better okay. And Fable 2 was fucking trash, but not quite as bad as Fable 3, although me and Aura have a disagreement on this.
Ongoing for
the
10
shinier
fucking years, or however long it's been.
Yeah. Since 3 came out, we've had this debate. Which one is actually worse? I think 3 is worse than 2.
The shinier turd is 3.
And he thinks 3 is the shinier turd. Both aren't good. I only beat Fable 3, I think, once. So, yeah, the debate basically boils down to which one's worse. I think it's Fable 3 is worse. Fable 2 is slightly better because it's not as annoying.
Fable 2 bores me. The best part of the game is when you go the prison escape route and have to fight Darth Maul.
Which is a random boss fight.
And then it's pretty much done with bosses. You get to the end and you don't even get to finish. But you can. But it's not a boss fight. Suffice it to say.
Yeah, you shoot him. Or you wait long enough and
shoot him or
Reaver shoots him.
And Reaver then opposes.
Yeah, Reaver, like the throne room part of Fable 3 is the only part that I think is any good in it because it's funny. But my god, navigating the menus with your stupid start button castle, I hated it so much. And it makes everything take forever. Oh, hey, you want to change your armor? Well, go load up your start button castle, go load up the side room, go load up the armor set, go load up each individual piece of the armor set. Okay, you're good.
It did, but
go by out of the game.
Horde of Gold kind of cool.
Sonic Adventure had the better Horde of Gold.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't think the Horde of Gold was. It would have been cool in a different system, but man, did it suck in that one.
See, I know I've beaten all the Fables. I can't remember fuck all about Fable 3. Like, so I think 3 is the worst one by a lot.
Not by a lot.
But Fable 2 was also really bad, because I also forget large chunks of it after, after you meet Reaver.
So, Fable...
And then Fable 1 I remember a good chunks of...
Because Jack of Blades is a good
enemy. But I think that's a big issue with all of them, with Fable. And we'll start. I guess we can start with characters real quick. Like, Fable 1 has
characters.
It has
Therefore, it beats the other two.
Yeah. What's the only character of Fable 2?
Reaver.
Yeah. Who's the only character of Fable 3?
Darth
Reaver.
Maul, basically.
Like I know there's like a shadow monster in Fable 3 that's like the final boss, and I always forget it exists.
Well, it's like the final boss and it's supposed to be big and spooky, but all it does is possess your fat friend and then you kill him.
Yeah, and you just shoot him with overpowered fucking guns.
Mm.
Well,
Or magic.
to be fair, that's
yeah, it
all
was
you
overpowered
do.
magic.
No, overpowered guns. Guns destroy magic in Fable.
I can't remember anymore. It's been too long.
But yeah, no, you just sit there and you shoot stuff to death with. You get one of the good pistols with like a lot of damage because they reload really fast, and you pretty much shoot everything to death because nothing can get close to you. Because if you use melee, you have to deal with the block and parry system. If you shoot them, you don't, and if you use magic, you have to deal with. Well, not a lot of annoyances in that respect, but it's just not as strong as guns because you can't like you can't augment magic the same way you can guns. You have to charge spells. You don't have to charge guns. You just shoot them. And it really turns Fable 2 and 3 into a cakewalk because...
And neither one had Assassin's Rush the same way.
It was the time stop spell, but he used it in a direction and it became Assassin's Rush. It was an alright idea for how to do that, but
yeah.
The game itself, the gameplay mostly sucked. The story mostly sucked. The funniest things to do in 2 and 3 was pretty much just become the owner of everything.
Let's face it, Assassin Rush battle against Jack of Blades was amazing. Just dashing around trying to chase him down.
Yeah, it looked cool, which is much better than any boss fight in 2 or 3.
Yeah, well, if you look at the final boss in Fable, it's a dragon. It's Jack of Blades. He turns into a dragon. You fight him. He does some stuff.
In Lost Chapters.
Yeah, in Lost Chapters. In the original game, you just fight him and you assassin rush around and have a cool fight with him, and it's really neat. Yeah, Fable 2, you listen to an old man talk about
nothing.
The power of a tower, and then you shoot him.
What the fuck? The tower...
the tower grants wishes.
Yeah, except he just never used it for reasons, except... I don't even remember.
Because the tower had just finished when you got there.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. And then in Fable 3, you fight your fat friend possessed by the devil. Which is no different than any other fight, really.
And before that, you fight your brother.
Which is also lame.
You can either kill him or let him live.
No, you kill him or imprison him.
Yeah.
I threw him in prison.
I think I did.
I think I threw him in prison.
I don't remember. Even fucking remember. Like I said, I know I beat Fable 3, but it becomes a blur pretty quick just because it was so fucking boring.
So that's how I feel about 2.
Yeah, I think they're both bad in that respect.
2 at least gave you the Doog. I think 3 also gave you a Doog.
Like I said, the only reason I think 3 is so much worse is because of how annoying I feel like interacting with everything is. The menu, you want to give someone a gift, you want to play 2-player, give them a gift, you have to go through like 10 menus.
So you're saying if you gave it a score, a 7 out of 10?
So the first one I would say is probably a 6 if you have the Lost Chapters, a 5 if you don't. And then Fable 2 and 3 are both 2s. 2s are, you might be able to make a case for 3s, but they're 2s.
I would probably agree. I was a little young, so I didn't pay attention in the game, like Game Informer and all that crap. So you just kind of came home one day with a fancy new game, and then I played it when you weren't playing it, and I was like, neat.
But we can all agree the first one was definitely the best.
Oh, easily. Yeah. So like I didn't grow up with I didn't go into it with any sort of expectation. I thought the scar system was cool. Older me knows it's a neat idea, but I can't even say it's executed poorly because I don't really think there's been a game that's done it better since.
My character had a scar on his chest in the shape of a pea, and I named myself the Pie Man.
That is true, I remember this.
Pie Master.
Or Pie Master, that's correct. As soon as I said it, I know, like, wait, it's Master.
Strangely enough, it's where I got the name Saber from. Because that was my Fable character's name.
And then you got,
And then I found out there's a big weed following around a King Arthur saber, which is a completely different topic. But I do like that series, too.
Then you got, Thunder and Whisper's terrible.
And you beat her to death in the arena.
Yeah.
And then you cuck her brother, and then you kill him.
You could do these things, yes.
Yes.
No, that's
what
you do. Every time.
Every time. You have to. You can't go through a game without doing it.
What the fuck was
I also
the
like
mage's
it.
name?
I also like it when you kill the guildmaster.
Oh yeah.
And you just like walk up and kick him in the dick, and he falls over, and you stab him because he's like ranting about how powerful he is.
Was it Fable 2 or 3 where you could get Lady Grey again?
3.
Yeah. That's why it's the best.
You had to rebuild her core. She doesn't even look the same.
That's why it's the best of the worst.
She's like a weird grandma-looking Frankenstein.
Well, because she's a zombie, basically.
Yeah, but they didn't have to give her grandma hair.
I don't even remember that at all.
Oh yeah. It's weird.
I was also rushing through
Necromancy
Fable 3
stuff.
after a bit because I was bored. And I wanted to be done with it.
I put a lot of time in Fable 3 because I wanted to get the good ending where I save everybody and don't kill everybody in the process. Although I did make a whorehouse in Bowerstone.
That's what I did.
It was like $1 million gold or lose 500,000.
I was good at the stupid mini games that you.
I also
use
drained
to make money.
Bowerstone Lake and turned it into a mine because that was also a shitload of money.
You're a bad man. It's weird to think about this franchise just because it started off overhyped and overpromising everything. Because I've gone back and looked at some of what the shit I think it was Peter Molyneux, right?
Yeah.
Sounds right.
To be fair, Fable did let me discover the game Black and White, which is like you play a god and you can go good or evil. And those were pretty fun. I never really played the first one. I only saw it. But I did play Black and White 2 a lot. That was fun.
But, so, Fable comes out, it's overhyped, it overpromises. But at the end of the day, it's fine.
Its biggest problem, I think, is it's only like 11 hours long. Even my first playthrough where I did everything was only like 11 hours.
Yeah, unless you're really stuck on a part.
But at least it had some cool set pieces. Like I had the Kraken you fought. It had Jack of Blades, who was just really cool. And then you get to Fable, and then you could fight the mage guy who trained you, whose name I can never remember.
Maze.
Yeah, you fight Maze. You kill Whisper.
And then the other hero is Scythe, and
Yeah.
What's the female hero's name? Beatrix?
You talking about your mom?
No, the female hero with
the edgy lady,
stupid glasses. Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't very cool. She wasn't cool like Scythe. Scythe was like, I'm so magically powerful. I'm a mummy. You're like, okay.
Yeah, he's a mummy, and because he's only in Lost Chapters.
Yeah. I remember Lost Chapters more than I do the original game.
Well, the cool thing is
Lost Chapters is better.
They actually had cutscenes in the beginning of the base game for Lost Chapters that showed him.
I don't really think this translated well to 2 and 3, but I think Fable 3 had a really good Fable, the first Fable, the Lost Chapters. That in general, I think that had a really good art direction, more so than the other two did.
Well,
the other two,
it was like a British cartoon kind of look. It looked good.
I think it did, except for the character models. Character models looked a little silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. That might be more of the time type thing. Because at the time, they still looked a little goofy, but like they weren't. They're not terrible,
and
they're definitely not like the top of the tier. I just meant like the environments and the armors and the weapons, the enemy designs. Those I liked a lot of those.
Oh, yeah,
the fact that you could charge up a bow for an hour and a half and watch The Simpsons or whatever you fancy.
We watched a Simpsons marathon.
Yeah.
Unleash the arrow. Yep.
On one of my times playing through the game this is when it was still pretty new. We discovered you could charge the bow indefinitely. So we watched an episode of I think it was Seinfeld and The Simpsons or something like that.
Something.
And after the Simpsons episode ended, we went back into the game and I was holding down the button the entire time and I one-shotted the White Belverine boss and I thought it was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
The first time you fight a White Belverine.
His head glitched in the air, I think.
Yeah, his head
he
rocketed
exploded
into space. It was
and
great.
then all of his minions decided to pop in
all
out
the
of
minions
nowhere.
that are supposed to spawn throughout the fight just jumped in immediately.
I just ran away because I didn't even get the XP.
Yeah.
You don't have to get to beat them.
You don't get the XP. You get plenty.
To be fair, the game's
especially
not
a Knothole Glade.
No. And then they were like, okay, now time for Fable 2 with the Renaissance. And I remember the beginning of Fable 2 a lot. I liked the beginning. You're like an orphan kid. And You got the
Yeah,
Goog.
and you get kicked out a window.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I can't wait to see where this goes, and it doesn't really.
The answer is it mostly flounders around and doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it's a lot of nothing happens. You're in a prison. Here's Darth Maul. Then the ending.
Getting all the legendary weapons was probably the best part of those games.
What's his face kills your dog, but for some odd reason the wish doesn't bring back your dog.
Yeah, so that's the shittest fucking option, because you could have your family back. I don't want my.
So your options are.
Dog is my family.
Well, yeah, the dog comes back if you wish your family back. But if you wish to do the good thing, you get a shitty little statue you put in the corner of an alleyway. And if you wish the evil ending, it's like 1,000,000 gold, which is whatever.
You can make
so
that
the only wish to take is the neutral wish, where you're like, I want my family back. Mm-hmm. Because if you have a family, it resurrects them, or families in some of our cases.
It also gives you the dog, which is
and it gives you
capable
the dog
of
back,
actually doing things in game.
Without the dog, it locks a lot of things.
And then like another thing that having the dog around will let you do is like in the DLC that came out, you can get dog potions and change what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so it's like, okay, you want the good ending. You wish for everyone back. Shouldn't that include my family? Fuck you.
No.
No. They only died. They died in the. It's because the wish is like, bring back everybody who got killed in the creation of the tower, which should include your family, but it doesn't. It was stupid.
And you get to listen to an old man prattle, because final bosses. Yeah. Oh my. Jack of Blades,
yeah,
so
cool. Their whole thing was they were like, oh, we're going to be subversive.
Yeah, it's probably one of the earlier subversive bullshit things I saw. Because I remember it angered me. I remember that emotion very strongly.
I remember
Fable 2.
I remember somebody told me that he actually can't get... Because I just shot him at first, just because he was talking for so long. But somebody was like, yeah, if you listen to him long enough, Reaver just shoots him. I'm like, no.
I did it that way. I let Reaver shoot him.
Because I was like expecting a boss fight, then Reaver shoots him, and he's like, it was taking too long. What's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, okay.
And he's got you partially paralyzed, so you can't move from that spot.
And it's like,
other than pointing a gun.
And you know, the Peter Molyneux, they were like, this is such a genius idea.
It was
or it's so funny, and it's like, no, it was just dumb. Then
I can't account to their finances, but maybe.
Then Fable, also, despite the White Belverine being the last White Belverine in Fable 1, you fight like 6 of them in Fable 2. To be fair, I think you fight them more of them in the Lost Chapters.
I was gonna say, it's not the last one. It's just the one that's menacing that area.
It's the last... They say it's the last White Belverine in the quest line.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that quest line saying it's the last White Belverine.
However, in the arena, there are 2 more White Belverines.
Yeah.
And then in the Lost Chapters, I think there's an additional 3 more somewhere in a different arena.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
Maybe.
And then you also get the giant scorpion in the arena. You get the Kraken. That's in the prison.
Yes, it's in the prison.
I remember you bought the special... you got the giant Kraken poster.
I remember one of my friends, when he was playing through it, he's just trying to see how long he could stay in prison, so he kept fucking it up.
Didn't he come out like 100 and something? But obviously no one else ages.
He was in there. He was in there for... Yeah. I think he was in there for like 15 years. Just messing around. He did it for a while, just trying to do stuff. It's like he'd punch the guards and see what happened. He'd explore the prison yard to see what he could do. He tried to kill the other racers, see what would happen, stuff like that.
Well, yeah, it doesn't help.
He listened to the commander when he gave him the, like, you did a good job thing instead of stealing the key.
And so, it was like, well, here he gives you the option to do this, but it doesn't want you to do this. There's no effect in the game or in the world if you do this. So it's like, what the fuck's the point of it other than waste my time?
That was one of the things that they said when the game was coming out. They're like, oh yeah, if you die, you get to play as your son.
And that was a lie.
That was a lie. That never came to any of them.
Any of them.
So that's kind of our takes on the Fable trilogy. I don't think we're going to get another one because every time they talk about a new one, it gets canceled. Although I do think the kart racer came out where you ride around on a
the Kinect game. For the younger people who might not remember, or the older people who just forgot, the Kinect was Microsoft's attempt at getting Wii money, and it fucking floundered. Because, well, a myriad of problems. Like, it couldn't recognize dark-skinned individuals as people. It recognized them as furniture, which is
Way to
kind
go,
of fucked.
Bill Gates.
And if you were in a dark room, you know, for instance, playing a video game like you might, it also didn't work. You usually tacked onto games like in Dead Space 3. They wanted you to reload by going connect, reload, instead of just pressing a button. There was a Sonic Riders game that just didn't work.
Just picturing it, be like, connect, reload, and it's like, would you like to know more? And you're like, what? No, reload my gun. And
No.
just keeps loading up articles about ammunition and stuff in the Dead Space. That'd be fun.
That would be great. But
meanwhile, you have the...
it was basically it was just an excuse so they could charge you another $150 for an Xbox.
A shitty Wii.
Yeah.
And then we had the Fable game that was going to come out. That was going to be a 4v1.
Yeah.
Where somebody was like the dungeon master and the other people were heroes, and they had to like go through dungeons to stop them or something.
I feel like that game was in development for years.
And then it just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it ever came out.
No, it didn't.
And then I think there was
another Fable 4 that got quietly canceled.
I remember there was a rumor of Fable 4, but I don't think it ever actually got taken off.
I think the new one is what Fable 4 eventually turned into, if I had a guess.
Yeah.
Probably. I think it's been jumping between studios. So like, is it really Fable? You know, the original Fable 4? Is it like Fable 7?
I get the feeling the people who are doing this is trying to use the Fable name to make them money, and I'm like, why? It's already a kind of a damaged name. Like,
yeah.
I'm not looking forward to a new Fable. I don't know who played the Fable games. Like, oh man, there's so much to do. I can occupy like maybe 13 hours of my life in this game.
If I take my time.
Yeah, I can go get a big purple hammer, which is really good, or feed some guy to the Temple of Scorn.
Or eat a crunchy chicken from a door and disgusted.
Yeah.
But only at a certain time.
Yeah, it's like I don't see. I don't necessarily think those by themselves are bad things. Well, a game being like 13 hours to do everything is kind of a bad thing, especially for a AAA release. But like the rest of it is fine. In a game, it could work. But I just don't know why you wouldn't take your own.
I think a new
make
IP.
Your own IP.
Well, if I had to guess, it's because Microsoft owns the Fable IP, and they've been trying to get a new Fable game out because Gears of War 5 did not go over well with the fans. Halo. What other first-party major IPs do they have that even do anything with? Some racing games?
Maybe, I don't know. But as far as Fable goes, though, like, you'd probably need to go be like, hey, Peter Molyneux, you're the weirdo who somehow sells these games.
He does. He's very good at it.
Because people keep believing him.
Well, he's a very convincing man, I guess, because I remember in the day I was hyped up for the shit he was saying. And then by Fable 2, I'm like, he wouldn't lie a second time. And then by Fable 3, I was just like, nah, fuck that guy.
I knew there was something wrong when he only talked about the dog. But I still played it.
Oh, yeah.
Then, yeah.
The dog only works marginally better in Fable 2 anyway. It's because they didn't put the detail into the puzzles in Fable 3 for him. He was just kind of there.
As far as Microsoft goes, I might be wrong, but I really can't think of anything that they have that is considered popular, especially now that Halo kind of got screwed. I mean, maybe Destiny.
Destiny's not a Microsoft IP; it's a Bungie IP.
It's not Microsoft. So let's not even.
Like I know there might be a comment that say like, well, they own Bethesda now. It's like, well, that's not a first-party IP. That's
exactly.
That's second.
So they've got sports games and they've got racing games, which is technically.
I don't even think they have sports games because the sports games come out on every console. I think it's just racing games.
I'm pretty sure they do have a couple of IPs.
I don't.
Every time I hear about Microsoft, I hear about sports games. Let me check.
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea what Microsoft owns as far as first-party titles. I mean, I imagine they have some stuff, but
yeah, they have Forza.
It's a racing game.
Exactly like I said. The Halo. Yeah, they do not have a lot.
I got it. They're gonna bring back Viva Pinata. Yeah,
Gears of War. They own apparently Gears of War, The Happy Few, Wolfenstein, Quake.
Wolfenstein. Those are all owned by Bethesda, which are now owned by Microsoft. So I'm not counting that as first party.
Okay, yeah, no. Well, if you want just stuff they own, it's a very small list.
It is. It's a lot of the same games, but sequels of them, like Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. So, they own Rare, right? So do Jet Force Gemini 2?
I mean, that would be cool.
Well, they don't have. They truly do not have a lot.
Oh.
And I was wrong. I don't really see too many actual sports games.
Microsoft I don't see
Flight
too much in general for their exclusive stuff.
They own Crackdown, which flopped. Quantum Break, if you remember that fucking game. Record, which who remembers that?
Alpha Dog.
Project Spark, which is a really cool idea that died.
Studio.
Oh, Killer Instinct. I think they own that.
Something called F.O.I.L, which looks like it won't come out anytime soon.
No, that game won't come out ever.
Oh, Minecraft.
Oh shit, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But they've released on every console, so.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, pretty much the reason they're pushing the Fable name is because it's the only first party IP for an RPG they have any faith can do anything. I should say their marketing has faith that can do anything. Because marketing teams are always the root of all evil.
Yeah, most of the stuff just seems to be things they have they own the studio more so than anything.
Yeah. So yeah, they ain't got shit. They got the fancy new trailer came out, and they're like, "Hey,
I was gonna make a sandwich.
We're gonna try and attempt some British humor in this."
Okay. Let's do it.
And it's like, "Hey, here's here's your average
What do I think about heroes?
Redditor."
Well, we've all seen them, haven't we?
More or less.
And then they're like, "Ah, yes."
High cheekbones and comically massive weapons.
You see, in that face.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Fable characters have never been great looking, but
I know.
Mm-hmm.
This is just funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me laugh more because I don't like the British.
I don't get why they said her weapon was comically huge.
Yeah, it's just
it's like the size of a regular army sword.
Yeah.
Weird.
Roughing up bandits because they like to rough up bandits, don't they?
Oh, look, a Belverine, but I don't see any hobs. And this looks like it's gonna be.
On a day-to-day basis, I'd say the true hero is me, someone who's breaking new ground with fruit, with veg, on the agricultural side of things. Just look at them. Not wafting around mythical creatures. And that's what they are. Wafters.
Yeah, well done.
You see, I'm not here.
I actually like that too, but it's
Chicken's fine.
To conquer the vegetable, not a euphemism. Let's face it, the age of heroes is over. This is the age of innovation.
why did they make her look like that? And then they're like, "Here's giants."
One moment.
Also, it's set before gunpowder. I'm guessing. Maybe they realized adding gunpowder was a stupid idea.
This is awkward.
Yeah.
I would just like to remind everyone that when they first released this trailer, it was called the gameplay trailer. Fable.
Oh, Fable.
Oh,
Well, it's
Fable.
clear that they've gone with the more, Fable version of
I know.
Fables.
Yeah, and it's like that. I don't think that was ever the intent. Because
Not as far as I can tell. I don't recall any connection to the Big Bad Wolf, unless you want to make a weird Belverines or Big Bad Wolves connection.
like the closest you
There
could
was
say
no
is
Little Red Riding Hood.
Little Red Riding Hood was your mom, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe.
that because she was known for killing the big Belverines and shit, and it's like, and that's where it ended.
Yeah, they didn't draw too hard of a line to that.
I mean, they might have, and I just don't remember it, or
Not
I don't
really.
know the fables they pulled from. But
I guess that's possible, but like, Jack of the Beanstalk is...
It's a strange one to choose.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was based off Jack of Blades.
And that's another thing. In Fable, you can find books and stuff about Jack of Blades, and then there's 2 other demon people that are supposed to exist. The Queen of Blades and I think the King of Blades.
Maybe.
Yeah, but they died, I think.
Yeah, but they're dead. But like, okay, you're gonna do a game set in the past before they started going the terrible Renaissance idea. Could do something with them. Is Jack of Blades gonna be in this? Because he should be running around.
To be fair, I don't think the Renaissance was a bad idea by itself. I just think their implementation was shit.
Yeah, but their implementations was shit, and I don't trust this. I wouldn't trust the franchise to keep going further in that direction because they had 2 games of it being shit.
I don't even know what studio this is that owns it.
I don't remember.
Because, I mean, if we're right, Microsoft owns it, but I don't know the studio that's making it.
Yeah.
Apparently she killed him. Or at least broke his glasses. Which, if his glasses are that huge, like, what are you going to do? You'd be like a non-lethal scorpion trying to take down a human.
The developer is Playground Games.
I have no idea what that is.
Same.
Playground Games?
You know something they did?
I'm looking up right now. Oh. They're the fucking Forza guys.
Oh, no.
Why would you have your racing game studio make an RPG?
They probably didn't want to pay anybody else.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna just be honest about it.
That's fucking hilarious.
They already have these guys, so they might as well use them, I guess.
Yeah. And then these guys, they're just collecting a paycheck, probably. I don't think these, like, if you're a car enthusiast, if you are a big Fable fan, that's great, but I wouldn't expect it, you know? You think you'd want somebody who is at least interested in the genre to direct work on it, but
I guess you could make the...
What do I know? It's not like hundreds of game developers are working for pence.
I don't even know. I would make a joke and say you could have 343 working on it, but I wouldn't trust
343 would make more sense.
I wouldn't trust 343 to run a bath.
Their games involve more than driving.
Yeah.
And Fable typically involves more than climbing beanstalks.
Like, I guess...
Because, like, technically Infinite was a good game, but for whatever reasons, it could not hold my attention. I got to a point where it was like, hey, go collect the codes in these 3 bunkers to open this big door, and I was like, and I got done with it.
Well, there's also just the stupid, like, Fable Infinite has so many problems about it that almost none of it relates to the gameplay, but it somehow just makes the game unplayable. It's so bizarre. I've never experienced anything like that before. Usually if a game is fun, I can keep playing it, even with minor annoyances, but... Oof. Yeah, no, this game, I don't expect, I'm not expecting anything good.
No.
I'm not expecting... I haven't expected anything good out of Fable after Fable 2.
That entire cinematic it showed where she was fighting against the giant, if that is the actual gameplay, it looked overly cinematized.
Well, it's not. It's not gameplay footage. But, at the beginning, I think.
Well, I mean, like, while she's, like, running away from him.
Well, yeah, no, this is a teaser trailer anyway.
Unless that is... Unless it is only a cinematic.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and...
Well, I mean, it's clearly not gameplay.
No, it's this is like a set piece that's going on that you might have to move forward.
Well, like, not like this part.
Yeah, I know you were talking about this part. I'm just saying this is like a set piece where you're probably just moving forward.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Oh, isn't it funny? A British said fuck.
Well, she said, oh, and then it said Fable, because
She's
swear words are bad.
Oh, Fable. Oh, Fable, love.
And she also looked at the camera, so she's breaking the fourth wall.
Do you think it's? I could see it being covered in fourth wall breaking humor.
I'm sure.
Mostly because I don't trust.
I literally have nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't particularly look good, from the trailer at least. I mean, the guy, I'm pretty sure that was an actor they had playing the giant in the trailer. I can't think of his name. It looked like somebody I've seen in something.
Probably.
But like, if they wanted to go with that like kind of dryish, Britishy humor, I don't think.
Did not
I don't
land
think most-
particularly well.
Like all they really had was the part with the chicken, where it kind of made me smile. Where she kicks the chicken, and the guy's like, "Well, good for you, then."
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, well, that's kind of funny.
Oh, that's nice.
But like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can safely say, I still don't care if this gets released or canceled.
with the general reaction, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets canceled like the other fucking 3 or 4 Fable games.
He's based off of a British comedian.
Oh, is he?
Richard Oyoedai.
I have no idea who that is off the top of my
I'm
head.
sure I've seen it, but I don't recognize the name. Anyway, this
Well-
has been us waffling on about Fable. Rambling, if you will. So, yeah, Fable, the first Fable, it's fine. Second Fable, it's bad. Third Fable, it's really bad.
Hey, now. Let's change that bad to really bad.
They're okay,
And
fine.
vice
They're both
versa.
really bad.
All right.
And they've nothing of note has come out of the Fable IP since, and it's being handed to Race Card Studio.
To be fair, the 3v or the 4v1 game had a really cool ice chick in it.
It had a really cool trailer too, a much cooler trailer than this one.
But yeah, that was about all I could say about the Fable series since then. It had one kind of cool looking character. I have the Jack of Blades mask mod for Skyrim, so there's that.
It's true. Best character of all designed to come out of all of Fable was Jack of Blades.
Yeah, he looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's an argument to be made about which version of his voice is best, but I like both.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, we got to go talk to the Voodoo Posse about a invisible man stalking the streets. So
Getting in on our turf.
yeah, we're gonna deal with that. So talk to you all later, I guess. Like, comment, subscribe, make random comments.
Let us know how you feel about the trailer and the upcoming game.
Also, we don't have a Patreon, so you don't have to subscribe to that yet.
Are we wrong? Is Fable actually going to be amazing? Let me know why, or let me know if you agree. Anyway, toodaloos, children.